my whole filming setup around here is very different because we changed the furniture, and I can either stand too close or I can stand straddling the coffee table. I'm totally washed out because it's a bright sunny day. What I want to talk about, I want to start doing daily vlogs after my run, because yesterday I wanted to write about this. Petting the cat. Yesterday I wanted to write about this, about my run. I didn't get around to it. And today, another good run and something super interesting. And so maybe I'll just be doing, pushing the coffee table back now. Maybe I'll be doing daily vlogs after my run, because right now, in the COVID era, as I've found in other eras of my life, I'm pretty good with daily habits. I do a good job of, if I commit to doing something every day, especially in a certain order every day, I typically get those things done. Whereas if I make something a weekly, or I'm trying to find other words for weekly, but yeah, I can't organize a Monday to Sunday schedule and stick to it. Things fall apart, or I don't feel like it. I tell myself I'll catch up and I don't. Blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so to get caught up, yesterday's run. Yesterday's run was amazing. I was really happy to get out in the sunlight, and there's people everywhere in my neighborhood now. Like I said, the weather's good and no one has shit to do. So, and I've always nodded and smiled at other runners and occasionally given a good salute. And I was running yesterday, and a guy who wasn't running gave me a thumbs up, and I really appreciated it. It was the first person of the day to do that, and so I waved back at him, and then I waved at the next person that I happened to cross. And what I'm thinking about, what was on my mind was, last week while running, I was annoyed at social distancing, and I think people are kind of superstitious about it, where it's like, if we're moving different directions down a street on a windy day, it is extremely unlikely that, getting within 2 or 3 feet of each other is actually putting anyone at risk. And I thought it was just annoying when people would walk, like, if I was coming towards them on the sidewalk, they'd step into the street and make a bit of a production of walking around me. I just thought that was just irritating and virtue signaling. But of course, I'm concerned about other people just from a social point of view, and I adopted the habit of going around people before they would start to go around me, because I want to show that, I care about the social contract and I'm a member of a society. And that felt better to me than being annoyed and shitty. So yesterday's run, I started just waving at everybody. Someone stopped for me at a turn, and I couldn't tell if they were stopping to look for traffic or if they were seeing me. And then when I got close enough, I saw that they were seeing me, and so we waved at each other and smiled. I was just smiling at tons of people, and it felt great, and it made me think, it's so good to belong to a neighborhood and blah, blah, blah. And the last person I saw was, I was running up the home stretch, old lady, sun hat, tank top, and a flowing white shirt, as old ladies tend to dress. And she starts to go around me long before I'm anywhere near her, like she's walking in the street. As I get closer, I'm just waiting until I'm close enough to make eye contact so I can smile and nod. And then she puts her sleeve over her mouth. And when I get close enough, she's glaring at me. She's just beyond perturbed that I exist. And I wound up bursting out laughing. After, 15, 20 people of eye contact and waving and smiling. Or some people just not seeing me in time as I was passing them, and that's fine. Or some people, other runners in particular, who were really head down and focused and didn't see me, and I'm like, that's fine too. I have those times. If a run is getting tough, I tend to just zoom in and might miss things socially. But this old woman, face covered, glaring at me as I went by, I burst out laughing while I was making eye contact with her, and it was a moment. I thought about it for the rest of the day, and that's why I meant to write about and to transition into how I feel some people are superstitious. Some people are like, and when I say superstitious, I mean they are irrationally fearful, thinking they can protect themselves with irrational, useless behavior. And other people are superstitious on the other side, thinking that if they're never afraid and don't change, nothing bad will happen to them. So we do have a spectrum of people being idiots, or just merely irrational, and everyone is irrational most of the time, probably. Anyway, that was yesterday's run. That was day 1. Day 2. Today's run was super cool because I ran into a friend. I ran into 2 friends. I was, again, on the home stretch, coming back from the distance that I wanted to cover and, seeing people and whatnot. And then I just saw a friend, and I was like, holy shit. And so I waved and I stopped, and we stood, good, well, maybe not 6 feet apart, but we 4 feet apart. And I wanted, like, just upon seeing them, I wanted to hug them and even cry. So I love them and I miss them. And we still did like the responsible social distance thing at the beginning and the end. I found this when I talk to other people too. I find it right now as I'm talking to you. I'm babbling when I talk to people now. Like, things just come pouring out of me because I've been isolated. And yeah, we just had like a good talk and just caught up. Like, here's this. Like, we talked about how we were okay, like our financial situations and our work situations and what was coming. And then we talked about, and like it was like business, like boom, boom, boom. And then we talked about the people that we know in our circle. And I was like, yeah, I talked to so and so and they're fine. I talked to so and so and they're fine. And then we just talked about the situation and what's going to change. And then probably, I don't know, 10, maybe even 15 minutes of talking. And then they went on their errand and I went the other way and came home. But it just filled me with joy. It really did. I feel elated and elevated at just having that encounter. It means the world to me. And that's why, and that's why I wanted to talk about it rather than write about it, and especially because it was like, if I write a blog post about how I ran into a friend and it was nice, that's not going to convey anything really. People are just going to go, yes, I'm sure it is, obviously. And I tend to self-censor when I write too much and I'm too judgy, or not judgy at all and just spew crap. But yeah, I think daily vlogs, just capturing maybe it won't be every single day. Maybe I won't think of anything on the run. Maybe nothing interesting will happen. But anything to keep getting myself into daily, habitual routines where I just automatically, because now, again, another thing I was going to write about and wasn't getting around to writing about, I'm committed to running every day again, which is something has always fucked me in the past. I tried running every day when I started running and I just effed up my knees and had to take 2 weeks off. There was one period where I wanted to see if I could start running every day, and I decided I was going to try and run 10K 4 days in a row and effed myself up. And yeah, I've always been an advocate of rest days and not overrunning, but I just am terrible at weekly schedules. If it's Monday run day and Wednesday run day, I think, okay, yeah, I can write a schedule. I love writing schedules where it's like, yeah, I'll run and then I'll work out, and this is the day that I'll rest, and this is the day that I'll have carbs, and this is the day that I won't. And never works out because I'm bad at switching the plan can change if it needs to into the plan can change if I want it to. And having daily routines and habits means just like, no, the plan just doesn't change. It'll change in an emergency, right? And it'll periodically switch things up. But just having daily routines just makes me consistent, and adding things in makes those things stronger. And like running is what I've built that foundation on. Running has always been, for the last 3 years, has been the center of myself. Running is sincerely the only thing that I feel matters. Everything else I can look at through a consequentialist, essentialist lens and think, no, ultimately, I don't feel that they matter. There are things I like and don't like, but there's nothing that I feel matters except running. I feel like I've not done something important if I don't run. Everything else is actually optional, rising and falling, and doesn't feel like it matters because, nothing matters. But something feeling like it matters is the closest that something can come to mattering. So, I'm going to run every day. I'm on day 4 now of running every day. And then, of course, once you have a daily habit, you can build things around it. I call it tent pole theory, where like I know I'm going to go for a run. So I know that before I do that, I should do something like foam roll. I get to decide if I'm going to be running fasted or fed. And those are decisions that I have to make upon waking up because I want to get the run done for the day. Like it's the cornerstone. So once I do all the pre-run things that I know I'm going to do pre-run, then I've got to start modifying it so that my post-run period isn't just shower, eat, relax, and then end up doing nothing else with the rest of the day. Because most days, so far this week, I've been running around noon, and I have this also bad habit of being like, it's like 2 p.m. I'm having my post-run food. Might as well put on a TV show, and then eventually it's fucking 6 o'clock, and I'm like, yeah, all the things that I was gonna do, I didn't do, and now I know I'm not gonna do them. So getting my post-run tasks in order also matters, and I think this will be a good way to do that. So this is super long. They won't be this long all the time. No one watches them anyways. That's fine. Friday Fitness. Oh, Friday Fitness on a Tuesday.